Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Oscar Talks, Oscar Talk. There is a little bit of a history there of how all this came to be or what's the story behind all this. It's simply because Oscar Talks, my own talk, Oscar Talk. So anyway, welcome back. This is I believe, our sixth episode of this podcast that I decided to launch because we don't have the one-on-one, the face-to-face interaction in the community, and I'm truly needing that. I told Gary the other day, I said, many weeks before I was sick and all that stuff, and I said, I just truly want to talk to the community. How do I get all this? How do I do all this? Anyway, so I talked to my friend Carey Pena. She helped me to figure out this stream service that I'm using, pay the fee, click here, click there during the weekends when work allowed me. And then I decided to launch these conversations with the community. So if you want to follow what other conversations that we have had with community leaders and people more so in the world of arts and nonprofit, because that's what is close to my heart, and I think is one of the market sectors, quote unquote, that needs most help currently in the community. You can go to my blog, it's whatwouldoscardo.com, and I'll tell you the story behind what would Oscar do. It's Gary's fault, because a lot of people, not to exaggerate or do anything or say anything like that, they send me text messages and emails when they want some answers like, what do I wear? What should I go? What should I do? So Gary came up with the idea of whatwouldoscardo.com. Bless my husband's heart. So this is the blog. It's whatwouldoscardo.com. Last episode we had Nayon Jovino, a Brazilian-born dancer from Bale, Arizona. It was fantastic. If you want to listen to the podcast or watch the podcast, it's also available on YouTube. If you subscribe to my own YouTube channel, which is Oscar de la Salas, just my name as it is. You go to YouTube and then you can subscribe. So we had also Casa Brazil with us at the very beginning because they were promoting an upcoming fundraiser they have. We had Jennifer McCabe from the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art, a local nonprofit that I've been working with for more than a decade. I've been part of the advisory board for more than a decade. Then I had to explain everyone what a feijoada is. So I did the podcast and this special with them. And Joe Spector, if you're watching, I know you are. Hello to you. Thank you for such a great time. Hello to the girls. This was fantastic. Letitia Fry. Of course, you had to have Letitia Fry with us. Some technical problems that I was trying to figure out back then because I do all this. My camera is not on, but I'm going to show you in a few minutes how all this is homemade with telephones and lights purchased from Amazon and et cetera, et cetera. And then we had Paula Taylor from Arizona Theater Company, ATC, and some picture with Mark Candelaria from a podcast that I had with him last year. I think we're going to have another one. Hey, hello, Mark. How are you? Hello, Isabel. Happy anniversary, by the way. So you can go to my blog, and then you can revisit all these podcasts and watch what has been happening behind this type of conversations with all of you. So I have a few notes that I want to talk to you about. So I spoke with my friend Angela Karp from the Craft Downtown, which is a location in downtown they own, and they do all sorts of events there. So I talked to Angela, and then she told me that they are having a sale this weekend. And you know that we love sales. And the reason that they're having a sale is because they're basically changing what they own for the world of events. The world of events and places that share or create events in town throughout the country are going through a tough one. But this is not that they're going out of business. It's just because they're restocking the new designs. And then she told me, hey, can you give me a quick shout out? So this is my shout out to Angela and Mark Karp. The Craft Downtown, you can go to their website, is the Craft Downtown Phoenix. And then they will have it this weekend. And there's a bunch of stuff that you can purchase there at a very good price, mildly used. And I just love the fact that they are designer stuff. So I put together this quick video for you. You can follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and they have this sale this weekend only. So I urge you to go check it out and hopefully get some goodies for your house. So very good pricing, by the way. So you can go to this website, info@thecraftdowntown.com, or call them at 602-462-9700. So Angela Karp will be definitely happy with this shout out. and I have other announcements. I'm going to have some specials. Like I told you, I had this special for, like I mentioned, for Casa Brazil. Everyone from Casa Brazil that you guys are watching this podcast, thank you so much. So I'm going to have a special with the new director and CEO of Phoenix Art Museum, Mr. Tim Rogers. That's going to be October 6th from 2:30 to 3:30. The podcast will be later available on my blog, but this is a special. I will be with Tim Rogers, like I mentioned. He's the director, or the new director and CEO of Phoenix Art Museum. That will be October 6th from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then the next episode in October, next October 7th, it will be Noche en Blanco. I'm going to have an open mic too, so you can promo your event, promo your nonprofit, whatever you want to say. It's an open mic night. I know we need this type of promotion in the community. So if you're working on a nonprofit, tune in October 7th. We're going to promo Noche en Blanco, and it's going to be an open mic. Whatever you're doing that is virtual within CDC guidelines and respecting the community and putting your mask on and washing your hands and doing all this stuff, everything is welcome, because we have to look for each other during these very difficult times. Look at me. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. And then to close, I'm going to have another special. All will be available either on my blog or on my social media portals. I'm going to have Fashion Group International, FGI. I spoke with Sheena Adams, who is handling these type of promotions for FGI. And this special is going to be October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So a lot of things happening. I have a full list of people that I'm going to be introducing to you guys through these podcasts or through these talk shows. Amazing. Our town is amazing. The amount of creativity, the amount of ingenuity is just overwhelming. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to someone very special for us, myself and Carey, someone who we think is a vital part of our community and is an incredible asset for all of us. His name is Bobb Cooper, and he is the producing artistic director of Valley Youth Theater. He's going to be with us for the next hour, and I just cannot wait to talk about all things Valley Youth Theater, including the VYTAL-Affair-Athon, the first telethon live broadcast that lasted 9 hours and raised an incredible amount of funds. So stick with me, stay with me. We're going to be today with Bobb Cooper, and this is his introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bobb Cooper. Hello, Bobb.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. This is such a pleasure to have you. I know we've gone like weeks on preparing a very special event weeks back. So this is nothing new to us because we did something very similar to promo the event, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I know that right now, because of the current situation, we have to, everyone has to be socially distancing. All of us are at home. We're not able to enjoy the face-to-face conversations or performances within Valley Youth Theater. So what is happening at Valley Youth Theater currently?
Well, currently, next to nothing. We, since the middle of March, we basically closed our doors. We do meet twice a week with our VY teens on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And we're working on, right now, we're working on a couple of songs that are going to be part of the Hospice of the Valley Light Up a Life celebration in the beginning of November.
Who are the VY teens?
What's that? What are the VY teens?
Mm-hmm.
VY teens is a group of young people at Valley Youth Theater. Teens, mm-hmm. They actually came to me a few years ago. We've had the name VY Teens for years and years and years, and it's taken on many different forms throughout the years. But about 3 years ago, I believe it was, a couple of teens came to me and said that we want to do a performing group and we want to be able to give back into the community because we've learned so much from Valley Youth Theater about giving to the community. We've decided pick Valley Youth Theater and we want to start the VY Teens. And so we started rehearsing, and they performed before COVID-19. We performed once a month at the Children's Hospital. They've done the Light Up a Life celebration with Hospice of the Valley for the last couple of years. They performed at different events. They're sort of a talented group of young people.
So that's one part of Valley Youth Theater. So right now, those kids are at home. They're not like in the same space within the same area performing. Right now, they're all interacting via Zoom, I can imagine, or via these web calls, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So what else is happening?
Well, you did mention that we just, almost a month ago finished our very first ever VYTAL-Affair-Athon, which started out as a 8-hour telethon.
Correct.
And we had such an overwhelming response. We have over 116 alum and young people for the past 32 years, or 30. What year are we on now? I'm so confused.
32nd. Anyway, I think this is
the 32nd season.
I'm drinking too.
I had the 30 wonderful years and the 32. Yeah, so 32. We just started our 32nd season, and it was great. And we ultimately, I wasn't sleeping at night thinking, gosh, how will I fill 8 hours? Do we have enough? Do we have enough? Yeah. And then about a week and a half before, I was like, oh my goodness, we have too much. We have too much. We're going to have to add an hour. And this is all thanks to Chris Weir and 2 Second Media. He came to us, things were looking pretty grim in, this was probably late April, beginning of May. Yeah. And we were canceling one thing after another. We canceled Dear Edwina. We canceled our production of Peter Pan at the Herberger, which is supposed to be in June. We canceled our spring classes. We canceled our spring break camp. We canceled our in-person summer camps. And it was just one cancellation after another cancellation after another cancellation. And it was heartbreaking, to be kind of under house arrest. You can't do what you know and love. I thrive on the energy of young people. I've worked with young people all of my adult life in various ways. And it was very sad. And I think it almost at your darkest time, and I'm a firm believer in this, and for me as Bobb Cooper and for Valley Youth Theater, that when you do good things come back to you. Mm-hmm. And at the darkest hour, I get a notice from Chris Weir and our marketing director, Cosette Pfeiffer, about having a meeting. We set up a meeting, and he started talking about how to do a telethon, and that they had just done one, and the group raised like more money than they ever had before. And they bring all these cameras, and they have a jib, and they set up a whole production studio, and they do all this. And me, Bobb Cooper, thinking, cha-ching, cha-ching, how much is this going to cost? So I literally cut right to the chase, and I said, wow, this is amazing. How much will this cost? And he said, absolutely nothing. Their daughter had been involved with Valley Youth Theater, and they wanted to give back. It made an impact on her life, and just so wanted to give back. So it's been, so that sort of started the ball rolling. And this was the first ever of its type that I know of. Yep. And it was quite a to-do. But, when we reached out to our alum, they were like, absolutely. When we reached out to the young people involved, absolutely. The unfortunate thing, we couldn't involve everyone, because it would have been probably a 48-day telethon.
So I know that because Gary and myself were part of the committee, and we work with you along with Andrea Evans, who happened to chair this wonderful event that it was virtual. She chaired last year when Gary and I had our VYTAL-Affair award. You cannot see it because there is a curve. Okay, you have to see this because
behind the curtain.
Oh yeah, you will see. This is how you do create a show. So check this out. That is our second floor little office that becomes voila, a studio on
Wow.
Wednesday evenings. So, I needed to do this and I decided to do it. So, this is when you want to do something for the community or something that just very close to you, you simply figure it out. And then you did it thanks to 2 Second Media and Chris Weir. I'm sure he's watching. By the way, he's the guy that I go to when I have any issues here, because they know how to do all these sort of broadcasting. So you mentioned that they donated time, equipment, and services, right?
Absolutely, everything, and people.
Wow.
I mean, we did. So we scheduled out 2 days in May, the 22nd and 23rd of May, and we recorded 43 folks, alum and young people involved in VYT. We did it all very socially distanced, very safe. They came in the stage door. There was a masked person at the table. They grabbed their microphone, put their microphone on. Our people hooked it up in the back. They walked on stage, stood on an X 6 feet away from Mr. Mark Fury, our wonderful musical director of 24 years, talked a little bit about their song, then went and stepped on an X center stage, and the crew was ready to go. We gave them, some notes about the cameras, and they ran it one time for the lighting designer, Jeff Davis, amazing lighting designer, and for the cameras. And then the lighting got what they needed. The camera folks got what they needed. They ran it again, one performance recorded. They walked off stage left, went in the back, dropped their mic off, and went out the door. And over those 2 days, 43 folks were recorded.
So out of those, I'm showing right now the YouTube page where we have all the single recordings from each one of those performers through those 9 hours that the Valley Youth Theater VYTAL-Affair-Athon took place. So one shout out here to Cozy Pfeiffer. She's been trying to send emails and for people to subscribe to the YouTube channel from Valley Youth Theater. There's a lot of things that are going to happen in this YouTube channel. And then if you go to Google, I'm going to highlight this. It's VYT Phoenix. And then right now I have 231 subscribers. So I wish and I hope all of you, can you believe we have 3,500 people watching right now? It was last time. I hope it gets bigger and bigger, because this is not about me. It's about the community. So I'm really happy that people are watching, like the community is watching. So I hope that we increase this number from VYT Phoenix in YouTube to a bigger number. So you can go to VYT Phoenix on YouTube. And we even had the mayor of the city of Phoenix, Kay Gallego, with a very special message. And that was great. That was fantastic. We had Nick Chiletti from ABC 15
right there.
There you go. That's another wonderful.
Ellie Evans, I see there.
Oh, yeah. And talking about Ellie Evans, I want to play because she's my BFF. I mean, she might be sleeping right now because it's late. But I just do want to play her little segment. Can I play that little segment for all of us? Or can I do that? Because I love it. Okay, let's see Ellie Evans' performance during the VYT annual VYTAL Affair. It was VYTAL-Affair-Athon that went virtual back in August. So check this out.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. See, I don't care if they call me crazy. we can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. See, I don't care if they call me crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Of a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
That was Miss Ellie Evans, and I know that was very, very touching, Bob. And
So, honestly,
I know this was very, very touching because all these was done at the beginning of all this pandemic. We did not know anything different other than we wanted to be together, and that Valley Youth Theater needed to have a presence in the community and be a window to happiness. So thank you to you and to the rest of the team, because those were 9 hours of absolute fun. I have to tell you, there are performances that are incredible. I cannot play it because I will have to reload the performance here. I'm not that good technical as of yet. Chris Weir, by the way, who's watching, thank you so much for teaching me. But there was one lady from South Africa who was incredible, right?
Oh, she's in
South Africa.
oh gosh, I drew a blank on where she's
South Africa.
No, Serbia.
Oh, in
Was it
Serbia.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Serbia.
Bless you.
That's Asia Pickett.
Yes. And she's here.
Right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She was incredible. I have to tell you, if you guys have a chance, sorry, I cannot share the audio because of some technicalities here. I will learn that part in a minute. But if you guys can go to this one, she was great. She sang Tomorrow, and then she did a take between two characters. It was amazing. It was incredible. So thank you for putting that together. We will have conversations about what this VYTAL-Affair-Athon, that it was virtual, 9 hours, was all about. But if any of you want to see or revisit these recordings, you can basically go to vyt.com, and then the VYTAL-Affair-Athon will be part of the menu. Sorry, I have to show this because I think this is quite important for people to see, for the community to see what it was done back on August 22nd for 9 hours. It was amazing. It was quite incredible. So by the way, Chris Weir is watching. So thank you to Chris Weir.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you to our committee. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Oscar and Gary, Risa, Suzanne, Lindsay, everyone. Thank you, Cosette, Susie Martin, our staff, Tiffany, Karol, Mark, everyone involved. It truly was a labor of love, and it was so nice to have something creative to do. And it was a lot of work. I'm not going to kid you. But.
So you went from like closed doors. We're not going to do the Herberger Theater performance. We're not going to do what's coming to, like, what are we going to do now, to all of a sudden go like boom, full blown on like production on top of everything, CDC guidelines and all that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
So those were like long hours. I know that. How much money was raised? Do you remember?
Actually, believe it or not, the event was the 22nd of August, and we're still getting money in. So we don't have a real final number yet because it keeps going up, but it's somewhere over $235,000.
So we supposed to be raising $250,000, and then we went to 235, and we still have a push to go to. But then I just want to mention that we have a click button, a button that says click here, and then you can click on that button and get the link that will allow you to continue to donate to this wonderful cause. I just show you Miss Ellie Evans' performance. Oh, I didn't know this, Bob. You guys have here the entire. Oh, that's fantastic. So there's a donate. I don't think the auction items are.
No, the auction's done, but you can still donate.
Okay, but I know I have someone who shared this event with us. Her name is Andrea Tyler Evans, and she just logged in, and we're going to say, welcome, Andrea Tyler Evans. How are you?
Good. Hi, Oscar. Hi, Bob Cooper.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Excellent.
Thank you for tuning in. I know that you saw my favorite, like my BFF. I have other BFFs. I don't want the girls, Joe Spector girls, to get mad at me next time I see them.
BFF, Oscar.
I know. So tell us a little bit about the totals and the frame of work of the VYTAL-Affair-Athon.
Well, Bob and I haven't talked for 7 days, which is like kind of crazy, but so he can correct me. But last we left it, we were at 235.
Yeah, it's a little more than that. It's more than that, probably. We just don't know the full number because money keeps coming in. So
yeah, well, and I have, look at this. I have a check.
How much? Oh my God, from whom?
Our wonderful next door neighbor brought this over the other day after she saw Ellie, and it's another $50 to add to the total.
Oh, that's awesome!
Isn't that so sweet? And
that's not including the Facebook fundraiser you did as well. So that makes and I believe there are others who did it, And I believe folks went through the United Way, and when you work in an office and you give to United Way. So I think it was the telethon that kept on giving, kept on going and going.
It is still going.
And it's still going.
And we love that. I mean, it's like there's something to be said about hosting a telethon. And Andrea, thank you so much. How many hours did you put in all days, Andrea? Do you remember?
Oh, well, I'm a VYT mom, and so it's all just kind of year-round helping. I mean, we did some extra over the summer, but
yeah, we're going to go on this break. What does it mean to be a VYT mom, by the way, to all of the moms watching?
But and I don't know. The hours don't matter, because anything that I can do in support of my daughter's passion is, what I'm here for. And Bob's a really fun person to volunteer for too. And this was year number 2 for me. And so I'm moving on to be an advisor next year, past chairman. And so, but still not leaving the crew.
We're
Amen.
So very happy, and thank you for your help in putting all this together, and for giving us a quick look into what are the final numbers of this incredible effort and all the many hours.
We're going to get to 250. We are going to get to 250.
And I actually, we budgeted $200,000 for the event.
Oh.
50 was a challenge goal that we're trying to reach. So at this point, anything over 200,000 was gravy. And honestly, and it is now the highest grossing Vital Affair that we've ever had. And it is the lowest cost Vital Affair that we've ever had. And it's because of the kindness and the love of the community that enjoyed that day. And it was just outpouring of love. 116 performers talking about their times at Valley Youth Theater, how it impacted their lives then and how it still impacts their lives now. Hearing from the young people who are still at Valley Youth Theater now. I mean, Ellie's performance makes me cry every time. Oh. And this tiny little person sitting in that big stool on that stage, and she owned it. And the song is such an important song, and to hear a little angel singing it was just priceless. And so, Mark and I worked on putting the whole schedule of what was coming next together, and we both agreed that had to be one of the last things. And I think it was perfect, absolutely perfect. And she's such a little professional too. I was trying to give her some direction, and she was like, "Okay."
That's my BFF. She's very professional.
Well, because she listens to you, not me. You.
Yeah, that's always the case. They always listen to somebody other than their parents.
You guys, thank you so much, Andrea, for stopping by. Thank you for giving us the tally. We appreciate all the work you did, and we will see you soon. Continue, because there's more surprises here tonight.
Of course, I'll watch on.
Thank you. So I just want to perhaps take you, we just jumped through the whole thing right directly into VYTAL-Affair-Athon, because I know it was needed to be done. You had this in mind, but I just want to go back a little into Bobb's life. I just want to talk to you about your wonder years. I remember I have this segment when I talk about where everything started, what happened, who is this person that I'm interviewing. So I just want you to see this quick little video that I cut for you about one very special character called Bobbo and his pair, Kookie. Check this out.
Go.
Very special people.
Do you sleep? How do you
You
find
know, Sean Daniels told me the same thing. He's like, when do you have time to do all these Oscar in a day? So I'm going to tell you the secret. So you guys watch TV. You guys get to do all sorts of other parallel things in life. I use that time for my creativity and my passion. And my passion is the community, and my creativity and my creativity goes through the world of design. So that's what I do. Saturdays I do the research. Sunday I cut all these videos. I'm really fast and I get it done. Anyway, Kookie and Bobbo or Bobbo.
Bobbo.
Bobbo. Oh my God, my accent. I'm Kookie.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell us about these two wonderful characters, because I love them.
Oh, well, it's funny. We've sort of taken a trip down memory lane because we cleaning a closet and found all these photos from the past. And Bobbo and Kookie were clowns in Los Angeles. And just a little backup to how the clown thing began. After I graduated high school, I saved money all summer long to move to New York to be an actor. And and that was in 1981, and people were like, "Oh man, you're going to get killed. You're never going to find an apartment. You're never going to get cast in anything. Life's going to be awful." And whenever I hear somebody saying something I can't do, by golly, I do. That was on The Young and the Restless right there. I was the Genoa City Clown, and there's a funny story about that too. But if we have time, we can talk about it. But anyway.
It's Bob's time. Go ahead. I mean, we're not paying anything here. People can stay with us for quite some time. So go ahead.
Well, that right there, that's those characters. This is from The Young and the Restless. This was on location at Griffith Park in Los Angeles, and they have a carousel there. Mm-hmm. And so it's Cassandra and Paul, and they were falling in love with each other. So they got balloons from a clown, which this is early days of Bobbo. This is like mid 80s right here. And they got balloons from the clown, and it was all set to Stevie Wonder's song Overjoy. Well, ironically, I loved that soap opera, and I used to watch it. I used to record it and watch it. So to, and I did multiple episodes or multiple shows with them because I was their clown. But this one in particular was awesome because that Stevie Wonder song played, and while they're on the carousel, while they get the balloons for me, the whole 9 yards. And while watching the show, I saw it the original time after I did it. And then you'd be watching the show, and all of a sudden you could see Paul and Cassandra thinking and reminiscing about their time. They would go back and cut back to that video. And I wonder if it's on YouTube. Anyway, and so I would hear the music started to play. And what that meant is I got paid 100% again. It wasn't a residual. I didn't get a percentage because they took that out of one episode and put it into another episode. And they did that like 4 or 5 times. And so as an actor, in Los Angeles, I was like, oh, payday, hooray. But so, anyway, the clown business, anyway, long story short, I moved to New York. I moved in on Tuesday, auditioned on Wednesday. It was cast an off-Broadway show on Friday. I did that show, did another show. I worked, at the time, holy Toledo.
That's great hair, by the way. That's great hair. And I know I have these pictures of who's that, Moses? I have all these incredible takes.
I was in high school. Oh my gosh. There I am. That's in my choir. That's Al Fisk, the director over there.
And that's you right there.
Yep, that's me.
Oh my God, bell bottoms! Jesus Christ, shame on you.
Well, that was 1980. This is me choreographing on the 20th century for my choral group, and that was in a show. Oh heavens, that's me gardening.
Oh my God! So this is part of your timeline. I love the Bobbo and Kookie's one-on-one performances, and I received some messages from people today, and I'm still receiving messages. So we go through these questions. Look, my stage left assistant is passing some questions to you, by the way. So I always ask these questions. So if I go back to this person here, that's a young Bob Cooper. Today, if you had a chance to have breakfast or coffee with this person, what would you tell Bob back when he was this age?
Never give up. Always work hard. Be the best that you can be. And you'll reap the rewards.
Those are the words you tell the kids at VYT?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that our mission is to inspire them to be the best that they can be. And, trying to teach them about respect, responsibility, accountability, time management, teamwork, help them with their presentation skills, give them a place where it's safe, where they can dare to be themselves, where they're, special. And fortunately for me, at a young age, I had a director, James Baird, who kind of instilled those things in me. God rest his soul. So
that's when you have someone that inspires you. That's when you have someone that you look up to. And I think that's the reason why Gary and I, when we sat down with the founder of VYT, thought this is something and a place, or this is a foundation we want to use our time and give our talents. We are not by any means wealthy people, but we're wealthy in talents. And that's when we decided to be part of all this. So I'm going to show you a quick cut, because I want to talk about you coming into Valley Youth Theater, that young professional actor that decided to take a chance and move to Hollywood, go to New York, follow his dream, and then look where you are today. But not only that, the amount of kids, and for how many years have you been with Valley Youth Theater?
It's 24 and a half.
The amount of people that, thanks to your effort and your team's effort, have moved forward in life. So we're going to do a quick cut into, so we all learn, including myself, because doing this, I learned about Valley Youth Theater. And we're going to bring a very special person. So check this out. Because you can be a star. You always can be a star. That was just all the things that I learned that you guys do. But it's quite incredible, because it's not only the performance, but also the stuff that you do with the community, all your community input. I want to bring to the conversation someone who took myself and Gary for coffee at the Biltmore Hotel on a very hot, and I'm not talking about hot, kind of like hot weather-wise afternoon, and she proceeded to talk to us about Valley Youth Theater. The founder of Valley Youth Theater, Miss Hope Ozer. Hello, Hope.
Hello.
How are you, darling? How are you?
Correction, it was not coffee. You were going to buy me drinks, and we ended up having bottles of water, which I will never forget.
My
you
fault,
and Gary
ma'am.
were going to go work out afterwards, and you didn't want to poison your systems.
So you see, that's the reason why you need Hope. Hope exclamation point in your life, because that's how she's introducing herself. Hope, exclamation point. How are you, Hope?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Very good. Are you in
So
town?
nice to see you. And nice to
Likewise.
see you, Bob. Saw you yesterday.
I know, long time no see.
So I brought Hope because I want to ask Hope the genesis of all this. Walk us through a little bit of how Valley Youth Theater came to be.
Oh, wow. You're going back pre-Bobb. Back in 1989, there was a real need for arts for children in this valley. There was nothing going on there. And, like so often, as Andrea said, we sort of follow our kids. My daughter had taken lessons in everything known to man and never stuck to anything, but she always loved to perform. And so she started auditioning for a small local theater company that then went defunct. And one thing led to another. I mean, this could be a 3-hour story. One thing led to another, where I brought her to this new theater company called Valley Youth Theater, and found very quickly that the person at the time who was running it had no resources, no support financially or otherwise. And I had seen this already happen to another theater company. And so, being the pushy bird that I am, I sort of jumped in initially, like Andrea, as a parent to help. And the next thing I know, I was putting together a board of directors, raising thousands of dollars, being essentially a full-time volunteer at that point. Fast forward to, and we had no place to have a theater. We were using high school auditoriums, middle school, purpose rooms, building stuff at one location, then renting U-Haul trucks and shipping them over to another location, loading into auditoriums at high schools. And there were those experiences where we were in Tech Week, and you know what Tech Week is. It's the final week where you're actually opening the show on Friday. And we would get a call on Wednesday from the band director of that high school, who of course had first grads, and said, "Get your stuff off the stage. I have a band concert tonight." And so there were nights that we opened shows back in those days without a final dress rehearsal, with the set behind the grand drape being painted literally while the audience was filing in. And we would say to the kids, "Don't touch the yellow house, the paint is still wet."
Gosh, and this is all volunteer, right? All volunteer based. And it's always been like that, right?
We had a paid artist start me. Yeah, I've been like an obsessive compulsive volunteer. This has been my labor of love since 1989. Since before that, as far as Arts for Children, he just held up a pre-Bobb. So, oh, everybody can see that. Yes,
everybody can see that. It's a pre-Bobb.
we went from sitting down one day after 3 years of this, schlepping things all over creation. I mean, we were in Paradise Valley School District, Scottsdale School District, the old Metro Tech on the west side. It was, Valley Youth Theater is doing a show, try to figure out where and when, because everything was just that loose. So in 1993, we were able to talk the then owners of Tower Plaza Mall to give us, free of charge, 10,000 square feet of space to make what we thought was going to be a permanent theater for children. And rural Metro firefighters came in and did all the demolition. We had volunteers from every part of the community and built it out into an adorable little 170-seat theater that sort of had a smell of sewage, but there was nothing much we could do about that. Do you want to know how Bobb came into our lives?
That's my part, and I'm showing in the background some images. I'm sorry, we will go back to see all these images later on of what, how did you get to where you are right now, what a youth theater is right now, but I just want to hear that day that you interviewed Bobb, because I know it. So I want the audience to hear that. We
had lost our artistic director. I was sort of acting in that role, although I am not an actor, I'm a business person. And one of the members of our board, Carolyn McBurney at WB61, called one day and she said, I just had lunch with someone I think is our next artistic director. And I said, great, who is he? And she said, he's a professional clown. That was my reaction. And after Carolyn said, Hope, are you still there? I said, Carolyn, we have enough clowns around this place. We need a professional theater person. She said, no, wait till you meet this guy. And so set an appointment, and there had been humorously, people sometimes had referred to our previous artistic director as someone who thought a t-shirt without a hole in it meant he was dressed up. Oh, wow. And in walks Bob Cooper with every hair in place. He always looks like he just stepped out of the shower and fixed himself up, wearing, I think, was it a green or a gray sharkskin suit?
It was
in my mind.
Yeah, it's green jacket, I think.
Green. Yeah. With a tie and a shirt, and he looked like he had just been ironed. Because I was expecting Bozo the clown, some guy coming in with I was, and there he was, and he sat at the side of my desk, and I'm thinking, okay, tell me how wonderful you are. And he takes out this portfolio and starts showing me some of the pictures that you have just shown of all of these amazing gigs he had done in LA and about all of his background and whatever. And I was just blown away.
By the way, the other clown Kookie is Karol Cooper, who happens to be Bob's wife. By the way, everyone watching have to understand that there is a family affair here, right?
Absolutely.
But Karol was not part of the package at this point. It was Bob.
Ooh.
And he drove a very hard bargain. Yeah, he drove a very hard bargain on salary, which I will remember forever. And he is a master negotiator. And then I went to our board of directors and I said, this guy, I don't know. His background is not in running a youth theater, but if he is half as good as I think he is, we have struck gold.
And
we did. And
yeah.
It's
and then how many years later? I asked a few minutes ago.
Bob has been with us 24 and a half. Right? Yeah.
And directly from LA, you came here, you said, this is it. And now Valley Youth Theater has an incredible amount of talents that had come out of Valley Youth Theater, but also all sorts of people, chefs, firefighters, CEOs. I mean, I just can't go on and on. Correct. Even Oscar Award winners, right? Mm-hmm. So it is not for free. All these efforts have brought to our community incredible talents, including our own Emma Stone, that, of course, we all know her, and she had won one Oscar, I think, and several other awards. But so that's when you take a chance on someone who has talents. And thank you, Hope, for taking the chance on Bob's. I just want to close our time with you. If you have any sort of message for the man that I call the Magic Man, who's watching with us today, who's our guest today.
Oh my heavens. Wow. He tears up so easily, and I run a close second if I say anything special or emotional, but he knows that I love him as if he and I came out of the same womb. I adore this man. He is special in everything he does. He instills in children the most extraordinary self-confidence and love. And I've seen him take children from a situation where in the early days when I used to sit in on auditions to make sure he was doing his job right. And I remember some where he cast this one particular child. I remember who had spent a lot of time looking at his own feet during the audition. And afterwards I said to Bob, what is wrong with you? This kid can't blah, 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 blah. Next thing I knew, this kid rocked that stage and developed over the period of time that he was rehearsing with Bob, not only as a fine young actor, but to see this kid's self-esteem develop from a kid who couldn't make eye contact to someone who just owned that stage and could communicate with adults afterwards and the whole 9 yards. And he has instilled that in so very many children. And we are very blessed.
We are indeed. We are very blessed. We're very blessed locally to have a man like him. And thank you, Hope, for first taking the time to stop by and talking to us a little bit about Valley Youth Theater, and for taking a chance on Bob Cooper and therefore on Karol Cooper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hope.
We will see you soon. Thank you, Hope. So that was Hope Cooper. Bob Cooper. Sorry, Bob Cooper had that was Hope. Hope exclamation point. By the way, I don't know if you saw that. She went Hope exclamation point. But I do want to continue on because it's 9 p.m. No one is paying for this. We can be here until the end of the times. But I want to do a quick break because Bob is not talking. Someone said here. So I'm going to break quickly into a very special segment. Look at this. So that's you at work.
That's hysterical. Where are the cameras? What?
So I have a series of people that want to come on screen and give a shout out. First and foremost, Mr. Mark Ferry.
Hello.
Hey.
I figured since I'm in the 9 o'clock hour, I could do a cheers, and bring my cocktail into the room.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So who are you, Mark? Introduce yourself and give me the rundown shout out.
I've been there almost as long as Bob, 24 years, and I've kind of evolved into the music supervisor, but I was the resident music director for all these 24 years.
So quick message for Bob.
Yeah, my quick message is, I think one of the big reasons that I've been here with you the 24 years is we exist on the same plane of our work ethic and positivity. Like, there is nothing that can't be done. If we can think it, we can do it. And working together, we are right there. And there was never any time that he said, hey, how about this? And I said, oh, that can't be done. Okay, let's try it. And we make it work. Like, so I feel like, it's all from the heart. It's all from the heart. And you pour in and just seeing all these kids take off and fly is amazing. And I couldn't really think, I said this to Bob the other day, I couldn't think of something I would have rather done for 24 years than spend this time working with Bob and doing all these shows and being best friends. You might not know, Oscar, that he was the best man in my wedding also.
No, I didn't know that. I know that he was a officiant in one of the ceremonies, but I don't know who was it.
It's dope, but yeah.
Well, so way back.
I want to say this about Mark. It's not often stars align, but a few times in my life they did, and I could go over them. My wife, Karol, that was beautiful. Birth of my daughter, this opportunity with Valley Youth Theater, and meeting this guy, because he's the epitome. He's exactly what we are trying to instill in young people. And he showed that example right from the very beginning. I mean, back when I started at VYT, we had barely a budget, and what we were paying was unfair. But he never complained. He always went above and beyond the call of duty. He did all of the rehearsal And then on Friday night, before we'd go into tech on Saturday, who was there by my side working till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, painting the set and finishing things up? That was this guy. And he set the perfect example of what we are trying to instill in young people. And he's right. I mean, we've come with some crazy ideas, and he never said no. It's like, let's do this. And he's brilliant. I mean, the first time we did West Side Story in 2000 at the Herberger, I remember him sweating that Leonard Bernstein music is not the easiest thing to do. And we knocked that show out of the park. Nick Cartel, who was recently in the Broadway tour of Les Miserables as Jean Valjean.
Yep.
He got discovered during that show, as did a number of others, like Natalie Ellis from Michael Barnard from Phoenix Theater, came and saw that show and was blown away by their talents and by what we did with the show. So, but Mark is amazing. I remember Mark's audition for me, or his interview. I'm like, oh, okay. So you can play the piano. Here, pulled out the score. I sit him down with the score, and he's like, just like nothing.
Mark, thank you so much for being part
You're
of
welcome.
this team.
Yeah.
Thank you for
having
tuning
me.
in. Absolutely. Thank you for all of what you do with all these kids, because if you see the VYTAL-Affair-Athon on YouTube, by the way, you can see Mark in the piano with his team making it happen. So thank you so much.
Yes,
I'm going to go to our next
All right,
guest.
I'll see you later.
Thank you. Shout out to Bob. Thank you so much. And with us, we have Jocelyn Jacobs. Is our next one. A shout out to Bob. Hello, Jocelyn.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I just saw you on Facebook earlier with, what was it, with the cats or something? Oh, the dogs.
The dogs, probably. Yeah, I was watching my mom's dogs for a little bit.
Good to see you.
Tell us about you, Jocelyn, and a quick message to Bob.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Jocelyn Jacob Schwartz. I was the production stage manager for 4 years at Value Theater, helping Bob make magic happen. And I have a quick funny story that Bob and I think is hilarious. I don't know if anyone else will think it's funny. But during Polka Dots, the Cool Kids musical, the lighting designer couldn't be there for tech. So he would pre-cue the show before we went into tech. And then Bob and I would adjust the lights as needed. And because I have experience as a light board operator, I was the one on the light board. So at one point, we were doing something and the kids were acting and singing and doing whatever. And I needed to hold to stop them, to light them. So I reach over to Bob and I'm like, hey, can we hold? And he screams, hold! Now, for those of you who don't know theater, hold is the stage manager's thing to say. So I was well within my right to yell hold, but Bob and I thought it was hilarious because I'm asking the director to yell hold instead of me. So that was just a little funny story that I thought I would share. And it was one of my favorite memories. So thank you, Bob. I've learned so much from you. You've made me a better person, a better stage manager, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on your directorial, not really debut, but
it's new because I haven't done it since high school or since college. So it's a lot of fun so far. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
Thank you,
I don't know,
Jocelyn.
did you mention she's an alum of VYT?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So it's all throughout. It's like alumni work with you, and now she's off to do greater things in the community and for herself. Thank you, Jocelyn, for stopping by and for the shout out.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We have also with us another alumni. I think it's an alumni, Sam Primack. Hello, Sam. How are you, Sam?
Hi, Oscar. Hi, Bob.
Hey.
How are you? I just wanted to if you can give us a quick shout out and a message to Bob.
Yeah, of course. My name is Sam. I have done 16 shows. I grew up on the VYT stage. My shout out comes in the form of a story. My first show that I did at VYT was Peter Pan in 2010 at the Herberger. I just turned 9 years old, and it was kind of my first big show ever, and it was such an amazing time. And so we did the show, and we had the big cast party at the end, and we were having so much fun, and all of a sudden my mom was like, all right, time to go home. And I was like, no, I can't leave. This is the happiest I've ever been. This is my home. These are my people. And my mom had to call Bobb over. And Bobb had to come into the bushes where I was sobbing, crying because I did not want to leave this cast party. And I'll never forget, he said, this is just the beginning. This is it. And I thank you for everything. So that is that's my story.
Oh, Sam, thank you so much. I'm quite sure that this was one of those stories. I'm sure there's plenty to share, but thank you for stopping by, Sam, and thank you for the shout out to Bobb.
Of course.
Love you.
Thank you. We have also with us Kyla Trevino, another one of your alumni.
Oh.
So, hi, Kyla, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Quick shout out to Bobb.
Okay, yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Kayla Trevino, and I've been in 4 VYT shows. And I first started auditioning when I was 7, but actually started VYT camps when I was 3.5 years old. And my shout out comes to Bobb in a form of a personal message. Just thank you so much for mentoring me and teaching me so much about how to grow as not only an actress, but also as a person. I've always had the most amazing time at Valley Youth Theater, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kyla, for tuning in. We also have other people pouring in to say hello to Bobb. We have also Rebecca Judin. Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Hi, Oscar. Hi, Bobb.
Hello
Hey,
there.
good to see
Tell
you.
us who you are and a quick shout out to Bobb.
Sure. I have been involved every single season with Value Theater, either in education or music directing or teaching camps for 19 years. And in that time, I had the great pleasure of directing alongside with Bobb as the music director. And I learned so much from watching Bobb. One of my best memories of him was we were doing auditions for Charlotte's Web. I think it was Charlotte's Web. And there was this one child that he really saw the potential in. And I thought she was decent. And after the auditions were over, he kept her back and we worked with her. And I could just see, kind of like Hope was sharing a few minutes ago, her go from being a little timid, unsure, to just being the most confident actress I've ever seen. And I learned a lot about how Bobb works with his cast members, with these young people, and how he doesn't care about your color, your gender identity, your home life. None of that matters. When you come and are with Bobb, you are loved and you are just as important as everybody else. And I've taken some of that. I now am a high school theater director myself, and I love thinking about what would Bobb do in this situation with these children that I teach now. So,
well, thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm quite sure. Bobb, any words?
Rebecca grew up with us and was like one of the first in the ladders of leadership through VYT. And when you can see that potential, and that's really what it is, it's about seeing that potential and just giving them a place to shine. And Rebecca did that. I mean, she went from playing in the orchestra to then assisting Mark in music directing and she plays multiple things in the orchestra, keyboards, violin, I'm forgetting what else you're playing. And just so proud of her. And now she has babies and she brings those babies to VYT and it comes full circle. Yeah.
Well,
in fact,
Rebecca,
I remember bringing one of them at 5 weeks old, and Bobb's carrying her around while I'm playing the piano. He's carrying her around, calming her down.
Yeah.
So you've been through your life at Valley Youth Theater. We thank you for stopping by and saying a quick shout out. And I have other people. Thank you, Rebecca. We'll see you soon. And then we have McKenna Jacobs with us, who wants to say hello to Bobb. Hey, McKenna.
Hello. Hi.
I love your performance, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Tell us who you are and a quick shout out.
Okay. Hi, I'm McKenna Jacobs, and I've been working with Bobb at VYT since I was 7. I've been in 9 musicals at VYT so far. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Bobb for the endless amount of opportunities he's given me, for believing in me every step of the way, for treating everyone who performs on that VYT stage with so much respect, for creating such a welcoming and supportive environment at VYT, and for all the laughs and memories we've all had with him, and for the long rehearsal and show days that go by so fast with him. and for all the love he gives to every single one of us kids. I truly thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for me. You've truly made a big impact on my life. I wouldn't be here without your guidance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I remember McKenna would always come to auditions in her cowboy boots. I'm not sure if she's grown out of that yet, but hopefully when I see her at the next audition, there'll be some cowboy boots.
Yes, you got it.
All right. Thank you, McKenna, for stopping by and for your message. We have other people waiting, so I'm going to bring them in one by one. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We also have Natalie Velasquez with us. Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Bobby. How are you? I miss you so much. Hi. Aloha, everyone. Thank you for having me. The very first time Bob and I actually got to finally work together was actually I came in randomly the day of dance callbacks for Wizard of Oz, and he turned to me after I did a couple groups and he said, "What are you doing in May? Like, what are you doing in May?" And I'm like, "Are you asking me like for like a date or something?" Like it was so random. And he just said, "Well, if you're free, we'd love for you to choreograph our show." And he trusted me before he even knew me. He trusted me from the beginning. And that's why I love working at VYT. And Bob, you've given me so many opportunities. Actually, before that, I had taken a 3-year break from choreographing shows, and he pulled me right back up on the choreography horse and sparked a lot of joy in my life. So I thank you, Bob, and it's very refreshing working with someone who trusts you, and it's a true collaboration every time we work together. And I love you with all my heart. So, and it's an honor to be part of the magic at VYT.
Well, it's an honor to have you a part of the magic, and Natalie is an incredible choreographer. An incredible person to work with. She's so versatile. She's a choreographer. She's a director. She's a great friend, and just an absolute pleasure to be around. So,
thank you, Bobby. I love you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait till we can do this again.
I know. I can't wait. So many bananas.
We are. Yeah, exactly. We're going to do it. Natalie, thank you for stopping by. Have other people in. Let me just roll them in. We have with us Christine Merrow. Hello, Christine. How are you? Oh, no. We have Karol Cooper with us.
Greetings from the living room.
From the living room. We have Christine in 1 minute, but we brought Karol on. So I wanted to say, Karol, who are you with? Who's that baby girl?
This is Gidget. She's barking at you.
And what is she wearing right now? Oops, this is okay. What is she wearing right now?
We're wearing her birthday dress. Her birthday was September 6th, and she turned 1. And this is from the Love Gidget Couture line.
So how is Gidget doing with her little leg?
Well, she's good. Maybe a week from tomorrow, she might actually get the splint off.
So I'm going through some pictures of your love story or your life together.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to hear perhaps a quick note to Bobb from you and Gidget.
Well, we miss you, Mr. Cooper. We love you.
You are in the living room. So I saw this picture today online. I cannot believe how young you guys were. Where was this?
Oh my gosh, that was at the Las Vegas Wedding Gardens in obviously Las Vegas, Nevada. And that was shortly after our wedding. That was ultimately shown on the very first episode of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Why?
Well, I've sort of lost it and laughed hysterically. I think they called me the laughing bride. And but my sister-in-law, Kathy, his sister, she was like, "You should send this in." I'm like, "It's really not that funny, Kathy." And she's like, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." So we did.
So I wanted to show some of these pictures because you guys lived in the same building. Bobb lives upstairs, you live downstairs, and then you became first friends, and then you went out on a date, got married, and then became.
We were for almost 2.5, 3 years before we dated.
Wow, this is and this is Channing right here with us, right?
That's her little debut. We produced her from The Illusion that you can see in the background on the photo.
Oh yeah. I can see
And
that.
I was I showed the VYTeens this earlier, and that illusion just a few months before, because this is in late August, I think it is September. It's every year we did it. It was in Woodland Hills with Louis Belson's big band Explosion concerts in the park. But that illusion, we built it originally to produce Santa Claus at one of the malls, and that year that Santa couldn't make that illusion work. And this little 3-year-old was a champ, a pro, and she did it before in front of thousands of folks. So,
wow,
and that's
this is just
the magic, but it's a very critically timed illusion.
Wow, this was so great. Thank you, Karol, for getting all dressed up and getting Gidget dressed up as well. We have one last shout out. I clicked the wrong button. I wanted you at the very end, but I just did what I did. Thank you so much. Bye, Gidget.
Bye.
Bye. So that's a family affair, like I said, Bob. This is just like you guys have done a wonderful job with the family. I have one last shout out that I just want to bring because she's been waiting. There's so many people, and I just have some questions that Carey sent me that I want to talk to you about. But I just want to say, Christine, welcome.
How do I follow Karol Cooper? I mean, really, but hopefully my 21 years of memories with Bobb will suffice at some point. But
so who are you, Christine? And a quick shout out to Bobb.
I'm Christine Murrow. I am a VYT alumni of 21 years. I've done over 25 productions with Value Theater in some sort of capacity, if that was performing or teching the show or choreographing or directing. I'm one of those kids that, and Gidget came to visit us now.
Making the rounds.
Making the rounds. Well, and I'm one of those kids that I did grow up with Value Theater and, hearing all these amazing stories of everybody. I don't know how everybody isn't sobbing while watching this because I have been. But really, honestly, I was one of those kids that didn't have, that had great, amazing parents who believed in me, but I was able to come to Value Theater and my first audition, Bob probably remembers this, but because he remembers everything about all of his kids, is at 9 years old, I was unable to read in my first audition. And he brought me in and let me basically be myself and show who I was instead of making me read off of a script because he saw the potential in me as a person. And 21 years later, here we are. But I also saw a different side of Bobb that a lot of people didn't get to know because I was Channing Cooper's best childhood friend. And so I grew up spending the night at Bobb's house, which is a little bit different than what most people get to experience. And one of my favorite memories from that was actually that Bobb used to come in late at night when we were supposed to be sleeping, and he would take us to McDonald's to go get ice cream cones. So kind of a funny side story, besides all the amazing inspirational stories that I can tell about being able to choreograph and direct alongside Bobb Cooper over all the years. He's just you're an amazing person, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the life experiences. You made me an amazing leader that I can be today, or you taught me how to be that leader today, and I appreciate you.
Oh, love you, Christine, and 21 years. Good night. And she didn't elaborate, but she carried the reins of Winnie the Pooh for a number of years as a performer and as a director. So, and
10 years.
Yep.
So this is what happened.
Here's another one. Let me tell you another one.
Yes.
She assistant choreographed Aida, and it was during Tech Week. One of her performers had to go into the hospital and couldn't do the show. So Christine's dad and mom both were in the beauty industry. So her dad got, I think it was your dad got a wig. Was it your dad or your mom?
Bob, I think they ran with Carol to go get a wig. Honestly, it was because it was Tech Week. It was the night before the Hope Kids show.
Yeah.
And there was a key part of it. One of the person who went out was actually a male performer.
Yes.
It was not a female performer. It was a male performer.
And so the wig they found made her look like a boy.
Mhm.
And, flatten things out, put her in the costumes.
Yep.
And she rocked it. And she was definitely the hero of that production, saving the day.
You got to do what you got to do when it's theater. And Christine, thank you so much. Bob, this is an example of what you do. Thank you for joining us, Christine. We'll see you soon. So this is what happens when you create a momentum in the community, and the community brings back all these waves, all these information, and all these positive energy back to you. I have a few questions.
Okay.
I know that we're past, it's 9:26. We could be here all night, but there are questions, and the comments are coming. So I want to ask you these questions, which my stage manager Carey asked me to please. The stage manager left right here. Bob, what are your hopes for VYT post-COVID?
My hopes that, well, first off, my hope is that we can get back to doing what we do best very soon. I definitely look forward to being in the theater again, to be working with young people, to holding our first audition, to see those young folks come through with so much hope and excitement about being there, and to be able to continue to see the potential in them and give them, an opportunity to be on the VYT stage again and to be a part of the magic that is VYT, so that we can continue to impact young people's lives for years and years and years to come.
And that's a mission, right? It's a life's mission. We need to continue. We have to continue. And that's why you are requesting for the viewers and the audience to continue to support VYT by just going to VYT.com and help us to keep on going, raising the funds. I have a shout out and a hello. Susie is watching from San Diego.
Hello, Susie.
So, hi, Susie. So I have another question. Bob.
Jealous.
Exactly. We're jealous here. But what do we do to bring people back to the theater in 2021?
What do we do?
Mm-hmm. I don't know who that is. My stage manager.
Did he take a break?
No, he's just like, it's like this. Look, it says, what do you do for people? Okay, it says, what do we do to bring people back to the theater in 2021? I love the handwriting. Thank you, Bobby.
Well, we first and foremost, and this is something that our staff and our board, right from the beginning of this, when it's safe and no one's life is potentially in jeopardy, is when we will be able to do what we do again. And make sure that it's a safe environment, and that for our participants and for our audiences, and we can't wait to do that again. We will, we'll survive this. Hopefully we'll get through this quickly. Relatively, I mean, it's already been 6 months and potentially could be another 6 months, who knows? But hopefully they'll find a vaccine that'll work, and we can just protect the folks, because I believe, others may believe differently, but I've lost friends, I have relatives who've lost friends, and they weren't all over 65 and having pre-existing conditions or whatever. There have been young people, there have been everyone in between, and we just don't want to take that chance. I love people too much. I love the children too much to put them into jeopardy. So when it's safe, we'll be back. But we are still doing things virtually. We're learning this virtual world. And, we're looking at doing a holiday concert with the VY Teens, and we're sort of toying with the idea of trying to figure out how to do it outside, maybe in the space next door in our parking lot or something. The biggest challenge, and I talked to the VY Teens the other day about it, is we need giant bubbles around them, because when they get together, they just love each other, and they're going to be all over each other, hugging on each other, and we're like, no, not that.
So basically, you are like me. We believe in science.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have another question. Bob, why do you think VYT has had such a lasting impact in our community?
I believe it's our mission, and that we talk the talk, but we walk the walk. And everything we do is not about us. It's about the young people that we serve. And every moment that someone comes in contact with Value Theater, we try to make it a positive and rewarding experience right from the very first audition, which can be very, problematic for a young person who, comes into an audition and they could potentially not get the part. And we try to make that experience a learning experience, a comfortable experience, help them to feel comfortable and help build their self-confidence. And I think the results show for themselves that 32 years of being around a list a mile long of folks that are doing great things. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And I believe that to give is to receive. And you mentioned earlier that you weren't quite aware of all the different wonderful programs we do. We get so much blessings and love from the community, from folks that open up their hearts and their wallets, and we are stewards of their money. They're making an investment, and that investment is in Value Theater and the children we serve. And because the world would be a better place if one child at a time, we're trying to make that impact. And so I think you do good things come back to you. And that's why I think Value Theater is important. And it's been an honor to be a part of it all these years.
We are supporting you all the way. Hope presented to us Value Theater years back, and we decided to get involved. And I think Gary and myself have walked the walk, talked the talk since we had that first conversation. And with that question, I happen to have one here who I don't know who's this coming from, but who do you like?
One thing about that first show that you saw?
Yes.
So I had attended the Smoka event. I think it was that just before we met you, and then it was an incredible event. And I'm like, who is this guy? Who are these people? And then I saw you at the Governor's Arts Awards, and I saw Hope beeline for you. So I'm like, oh, all right. Well, hopefully he's got his wallet tightly in his pocket. It's coming out. And then the next thing I know, Hope told me that she invited you all to opening night of Wizard of Oz. And anyone who knows me, The Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie of all time, my favorite story of all time. It's about hope and friendship and love and taking a journey, taking risks, and also looking inside and realizing that all those things you're looking for are right here inside. And I remember I think you were sitting either in my row or just the row. I think you were in the row. And I was nervous for you and Gary to be there. And the show starts, and I look over, and you were crying. It had impacted you so much. And it was like, that's what we do. That, when you can watch children on that stage and they can move you, that's a blessing. And I think you guys drank that Kool-Aid that night. And I'm so happy you were there and you saw that magic, and you've been a special part of it ever since. So I love the two of you so very much. And I'm so thankful to you both, and so glad we were able to honor you last year with the Vitality Award.
For us, it's been an honor. I always say that the two of us, we have Gary, who is a former performer, singer, and an actor. So he lived a life in the past that it was part of his day-to-day to be singing and an actor. Myself, because I'm an architect, I go to the applied arts. but I love the world of entertainment and I love the world of arts. And what I saw that day, what we saw that day, cultivated us to a great extent. I did what I could, and I do what I could with the community, with your permission for me to say this, because what your impact and what you've done for all of us is way far and bigger than the footprint where I stand under your shadow. Because I have to tell the community what you've done all these years, not only from your place of where you work, but also from your heart and what you do for the community is a huge impact. And I have to thank you for bringing that fresh wind to our community, for that fresh light. And even through the tough times, you came up with the idea of a telethon and 9 hours of fun. And I was just drinking, watching the kids. It was fantastic. Such a positive reinforcement to everyone who is having a horrible time or difficult time right now. So I want to share this beautiful picture that one of our friends, our photographer friends, captured of the two of you at fashionably avant-garde at Smoka years back that I had a chance to co-chair. And you guys were special guests from Billy Joe and Judd Herberger, if I remember correctly. So I put a lot of my creativity and my force, my creative juices into all this because I love Smoka. But it was when I have to tell you this, no one knows this. When I saw you and Karol walking in, I was like, oh, they are here. This is the magic man.
Oh.
Bob Cooper from Valley Theater. He can make magic happen. So anyway, so just to close, what are you doing? Just to close.
Here.
There you go. I was not able to find the Arizona Red Book, the AC Red Book cover, but here we are, the Wizard of Oz. So last question.
Andrea, this was in the background.
Yes, that was in the background. Front doors. Thank you, Andrea Tyler Evans. Last question that someone asked. I don't know who that person is. Who is it? Don't ask that question. Okay, Gary. Oh, Gary's like, don't ask. Okay, Bob, who do you like better, Oscar or Gary?
How unfair. I love you both equally in different ways. There's you can't. Maybe Gary because Hugo sleeps on. No, I'm just kidding.
I gotta go. Welcome to Gary. Gary talks to Gary. I'm done.
No, I love you equally, and Hugo.
And Hugo.
I'm still in awe of Hugo lying there with Gary sleeping.
I know, right?
We love him.
Well, I just want to close an hour and 30 minutes. We've been chatty, Kathy, and getting to know you, getting to know Bobbo, right? Bobbo and Kookie. So just final thoughts to the entire community. You have the floor. I'm going to leave you by yourself just to send a message because I know during these very hard times, we all need a message, and I know that you have a good one. Take it away, Bob.
Well, I'm 57 years old. I didn't have the greatest of childhood. I had one thing, which was myself, and I learned to believe in myself, and I had hope. And that was before I actually had hope. Those are in my life. But always have hope. Believe in yourself. There is no mountain too high to climb, no river too long to swim across. Just go for your dreams. And when someone tells you you can't do something, you can. Just do it. My dad instilled that in me at a very young age. Can't, never, could do anything. So just believe in yourself, work hard, be accountable, and make your dreams come true.
We thank you so much for those words, Bob. You have no idea. In front of where we are and all what is happening, the turmoil that is happening out there, I can see through my window sunrise and sunsets, and I just wish that we are able to pass this very difficult time, but we have to do it together.
And we have to think about our children. Mm-hmm. That is the most important thing, because they are our future. And it is so important that we care about their education. We care about their health care. We care about their parents and their livelihoods. And we care about giving them a place where it's safe to just be a human being, no matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what your belief systems are. If you're a good human being, they need our love, our attention, and a great world.
We can do this together, and I'm sure this is a positive message for everyone out there watching. I want to close tonight's episode by saying thank you so much. This has been more than a pleasure. I hope you had a great time. We went through up and downs and a lot of drinks, and I appreciate you so much, Bobb Cooper.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one thing. We never got through the clowning thing, but I don't know if you noticed my little how the clown started happening, but we've been here for 40 hours. But I've been doing a little bit of clowning throughout this. I wonder if anyone has picked up on it.
What?
Yeah, I have
glasses.
I don't know if you've been noticing, but periodically I take my glasses off and I've been changing glasses. Just a little clown routine.
Just a little clown routine. Oh my God, Bobb. We thank you so much. And
thank you. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Oscar and Gary, for being incredible human beings in our community. We are a better place because of you guys and because of folks like you. And you're amazing.
We appreciate your words. We're going to let you go. It's 9:41. We're really running really late. It's supposed to be only 1 hour. But with you, those hours and those minutes are eternal, and a fantastic joy to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. Love you too. Bye-bye. So that was Bobb Cooper for 1 hour and 42 minutes of this Oscar Talk. And I just always have to announce the next episode. Who do we have next? I mean, can you believe I just have to process all the conversations with Bobb and all the people that he had the opportunity to work with and have to create them or shape them, if you would, because when you're a child, you look up to someone. That was incredible. Thank you, Bobb. Thank you, Bobb. So who's next? Next Wednesday, 8 p.m., we're going to have another very close to everybody, let's say, someone who's a volunteer, an advocate, and an incredible businesswoman. Is a good friend of mine, and she is the chair of Friends of Phoenix Public Art Board, which I just joined recently. And we're going to talk about a campaign where we are going to love our public art. Her name is Karol Poor. And that's Karol Poor next Wednesday, 8 p.m. It is already past my bedtime. Actually, I go to bed about 11 p.m. But I know it's past your bedtime. If you want more information about Value Theater, you can go to VYT.com. This is it for tonight. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you soon. Please wash your hands, use your masks, and stay 6 feet away from people. And hopefully when you go out to dinner, you go somewhere where there is a patio. Carey and I are going to have dinner this Saturday with, actually, I'm going to have dinner and drinks this Saturday at Foundry Hotel outside in a patio with my mask, washing my hands. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.